Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over 5 farms that I enjoy farming. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today I wanted to go over some of the best farms or my favourite farms that I enjoy doing, and they bring in a lovely amount of gold per hour for my time invested. These are farms that I can pretty much do all the time and not get bored of them. So that being said, let's get into number 1, which is Vigil's Torch. Now Vigil's Torch at this moment in time is one of my most favourite farms. This is because the route is stupidly easy in order to follow. It's also one of the best gold per hour ones within Shadowlands, and also it is in my favourite zone of Ardenweald. Now, that being said, I do generally enjoy some Shadowlands farms, not all of them, but this one definitely hits the top on the map. Now, you would probably want to think that Maldraxxus is one of my most favourite ones because it's so easy in order to traverse, but to be honest, Ardenweald does come up as the top one with the Vigil's Torch farm. This is because you're going around essentially the entire zone, and overall I find this to be a really fun farm in order to do. This is due to the fact that I can just run around and just farm my favourite profession, well, one of my favourite professions, which is herbalism. And not only that, I can enjoy the scenery of Ardenweald while I'm doing that. So I bring in a decent amount of gold, and along with that, this is why it hits number 1 on this list, because it is generally a very fun farm to do and one of the ones that you can multi-farm. That being said, let's just jump into our next one, which is at number 2, which is the Blackwing LAIR. Now the Blackwing LAIR is an amazing farm that I enjoy doing. It takes around about 10 minutes in order to do, so very easy in order to traverse, pretty fast. Now, aside from all of that, I enjoy this farm because of some little tricks that you can actually do in this. You can use some of the mobs to get over certain of the boundaries to avoid certain things, such as like the gas and all of that stuff that actually slows you down. But aside from that, I just love being able to just know how to do it in a fast and effective manner. And I generally find this to be a very good way to actually enjoy the actual farm. Now, alongside this, you do have a tendency to pick up an Orb of Deception at a 0.2% drop chance from the end boss Nefarian. This can also be said for the Molten Core once you've actually completed it, if you really wanted to. But alongside this, I find this farm to be really fun because I can get a hold of some very nice recipes that go for a lot of gold from this raid. And alongside that, I can pick up some battle pets which can sell for some very low gold, but some of them are actually quite used quite frequently, so you can get some actually decent sales for them, especially if you've leveled them up on Super Square Day. Now, alongside that, the best thing that I like to do for this is skinning, and this is because I pick up a lot of old world materials. That being said, you do get some unobtainable scales from this actual raid, and these are only obtainable from Chromagus. Some of the old world dragon scales were removed back in the day, and this means this is the only way to actually get a hold of these scales even now. Like, literally you'll only get about 2 to 3 of these scales from Chromagus, and it's definitely worth doing this each and every week just to get a hold of these different types of scales. One keynote one is the blue dragon scales. They only drop from Chromagus and they go for a hefty amount of gold. The only thing is you only get about 2 to 3 per week, so obviously that means that the transmog that is made from these is definitely going to hit a lot more higher in gold value, and this is why I tend to farm this on multiple skinners in order to get more per week in order to craft some high-end transmog to sell on the auction house, as obviously they're now locked because that's the only way to obtain those materials. And I find this to be a very fun farm just due to the fact of the lore and everything to go along with that. And overall, I just find this to be a very fun raid in order to do. It's definitely well worth actually giving it a go, especially if you enjoy farming raids. That being said, let's just jump into our next one at number 3, which is the Desolate Leather Farm in Bastion. Now, I was averse to actually doing skinning in Shadowlands because everyone usually jumps on that and it's usually oversaturated. Ever since the prices of Callous Hide has actually dropped down, a lot of people have like dwindled off, especially at the beginning of the expansion. People were like going crazy over it, and now it's kind of like settled down a bit more now, so less people are actually farming up the skins, which is making the gold per hour relatively stable, which is kind of nice. And overall, I generally love doing this on my Demon Hunter, especially my Vengeance Demon Hunter, and this is because I can pull multiple amounts of mobs at once, destroy them, and then super skin with the enchant for skinning. Now, alongside this, I do enjoy doing this because I can have the chance of getting a hold of a load of different types of BOEs from the actual mobs as well, and hopefully I can get one of those world drop epic BOEs to sell on the auction house. Granted, they don't sell for a lot of gold anymore, but you can still make at least around about 20k from one of those BOEs if you're lucky. Now, alongside this, you can actually use this as a leveling method for just grinding out, and overall this can actually level you up and also make 1,000,000 gold at least just by selling the skins that you are literally just grinding those mobs into your max level, so you can make a decent amount of gold through that. Now, aside from all of that, I do tend to find that this is a very fun farm in order to do, mainly due to the fact that it's just one of those ones that you can just do mind-numbingly while you're watching something on the sidelines. And overall, if I'm doing it on my Demon Hunter, I have no problem at all doing that because the gold per hour is quite steady and I can just watch something while I'm doing it and not worry about dying, because Vengeance Demon Hunters just don't die, and that is why I tend to love this farm. That being said, let's jump on to our next one at number 4, which is the Reigns of POSEIDUS. Now, POSEIDUS is located within VIGILS, and to be more specific, in the Shimmering Expanse. This is due to the fact that he has 4 spawn points in this area, and also it has a spawn location within the Abyssal Depths where you do the Azhara's Veil farm. Alongside this, I do tend to just do a log each and every day, and this is one of my favourite farms that I enjoy doing because I know if I wake up and I get online by about 8 to 9 o'clock and I do a lap of all of those spawn locations, I tend to actually get a POSEIDUS up. And remember, the Reigns of POSEIDUS is 100% drop chance. That means I get a mount which I can sell on the auction house, and we all know that mounts sell on the auction house. That doesn't really matter how much they're worth, they will always sell. And this is definitely one of the ones that are a little bit more pricey in the general sense of 100% mount. So obviously, like the Garn Night Howl won't go for an awful lot of gold, but you can farm it every 20 minutes if you so wished. But with the Reigns of POSEIDUS, it's usually within like 4 hours for a respawn timer, but I find that the mount is always up by around about 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you're an early riser like myself who wakes up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, you should really be able to get a hold of the Reigns of POSEIDUS each and every day, which I tend to do. I do this on my Druid because I can do a fast lap, and it usually takes me around about 4 to 5 minutes, depending on whether I am being casual or I'm actually going for it. It just depends on that. But the essence of it is literally just camping that spawn location in order to get a hold of the Reigns of POSEIDUS, which can equal me in around about 3,000 to 5,000 gold each and every day for just literally logging on for a mount that sells relatively fast. Now, that being said, let's just jump on to our last one, and at no surprise is the WHIPTAIL and PYRITE ore farm in Oldham. Now, I generally love this farm mainly due to the fact that I craft Vial of the Sands, and I'm always farming these materials because I use it in my Vial of the Sands. Now, I could actually sell this on the auction house, and the gold per hour for this would be really pretty decent because it's combining mining and herbalism together. But overall, I tend to use it for my Vial of the Sands mounts because that just reduces the crafting cost. And if I feel like having a lull day where I don't really want to do all that much and I just want to grind out some farming, I will go over to there because I know I always need those materials, as I'm pretty much selling quite a few Vial of the Sands very frequently. So it's a very good way to actually reduce the cost of a mount that I regularly sell, and also along with that I find that this is just a very nice farm in order to do, as it just switches things up and I can just mindlessly farm it. One little side note is there is a couple of spawn locations on that actual route going down the river for the heavy silken chest, which I can get the Orb of Deception from as well, but that's at like a low drop chance. But I have gotten it once or twice in the past, but that's over like the last couple of years of just farming that area, so don't be surprised if you don't get it if you open a healthy silken chest, but it's just always nice to see it, open it up and see if I can actually get it. Alongside that, that is pretty much everything for today. That is everything of the 5 farms that I enjoy doing. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon. If you want to support the channel and help make the channel even better, then why not check out the Patreon? Members get additional info, gold making resources, and Patreon specific content. The link is located in the description down below. Thank you and have an awesome day.